We touched on this in our last episode, but Galen and I, even though we are best friends, besties for life,
Besties.
we are also super different. And not just us, but our dogs. I think our differences are also really extreme.
Yeah, so we kind of want to explain the differences between us and also our dogs, but also how that makes it work so well.
I know a big difference between Lumi and Chili, and also kind of between us, now that I think about it, is Lumi is obsessed with other dogs, like to another level. Like
Mhm.
whenever he sees another dog on the street, in the park, he just wags his tail and gets so freaking excited. And honestly, I kind of do the same thing like with people. If anyone's like interacting with me and I'm like, oh, like I just get like way
Yeah.
too I just get like way too excited. Galen has seen it before. And I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, with Chili, yeah, he likes other dogs, but you know, if he's not with another dog, he's fine. Like he's just chilling by himself. And I
And
feel
that's
like
like
that's
me.
also that no, it kind of is
Yeah,
because
it is.
you are very social, but when you're not, you're like very fine with
Yeah.
not being social.
Sometimes me and Jackie are like, oh my God, we're the same because we get along so well. I think it's a tendency to compare each other and be like, oh my God, we're like the exact same. But it's actually, we're not alike almost at all. And but it works so well. And that's what we're trying to delve into this together because we've actually never even listed our differences, but we'll just like figure it out as we go. But yeah, I mean, I will talk to anybody and I can talk to anybody, but I would be fine going to a party and not being talked to and just standing and talking to one person. And I wouldn't feel awkward. I wouldn't care at all. But if people are going to start conversations with me, then my social thing will go on where I feel like you come into the party like, let's go, let's talk to everybody. But then you can definitely reach your point where you'd be like, I got it. I got to go. My social battery
Oh yeah.
is depleted.
Wait, what is that called? I think it's an extroverted introvert. Like that's what I am. Where like I am extroverted when I'm put into a social situation, but then once that extrovert battery is out, I'm done. Which is
Yeah.
honestly Lumi too. Like when
Yeah.
Lumi's done playing, he's like, I'm done. I'm tired. Let's get out. Like that's honestly me where I can go for a bit and then when I'm done, I'm like, put me the fuck to sleep in my bed. I'm going to take a fat nap.
You are a
And
big napper and I am not.
I'm a
That's
huge
another thing.
napper. Guys, I can't imagine life without napping. Is that bad? Like like I don't know.
I couldn't imagine my life with napping. I think I would wake up on another planet every day and be like, where am I?
Yeah, me and Galen will be FaceTiming on a weekend and I'll just say, yeah, I'm going to go take a nap. I'll text you later. And she's like, it's literally 1 p.m. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's my nap time. Like
I'd rather
we
sit in exhaustion and my eyes peeled back rather than go lay down in the middle of the day.
no, that to me like boggles my freaking mind. Like I just yeah. You know what? Comment below if you're a napper or a non-napper because I'm curious about the ratio of nappers to non-nappers among our listeners. Lumi and Chili are also very different personality-wise, not just because of their breeds. Of course, Goldens are meant for hunting and retrieving, and Samoyeds are meant for sled pulling and hurting. They're just like the way they react to things is so funny because it's so different. Like, for example, when Chili comes into the city, he is very much like sniffing around, looking around everywhere, of course, because he's not used to everything. But like, if there's a person approaching him, he honestly like completely, I feel like, ignores that person. Whereas Lumi is like an attention whore and like
Mhm.
needs every person to pet him or he'll like have a meltdown. And that's honestly kind of like us if you think
I
about
know.
it. Like,
Every single thing we're about to say, I feel like is going to be them too. But what I was thinking about in the last point you said is I'm really goofy. Like we were describing our humor sense. And like Jackie is so fucking funny. Like I really hope that we do another funny revealing what you guys say thing because this isn't true Jackie right now. She's funny as fuck. And I'm not saying
yeah, I'm
that
not funny right now.
yeah, right now you're being boring as fuck. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're having this is serious Jackie, who I also love. But
Oh.
anyway, Jackie is super funny, but I was like, I am not funny like Jackie. And you were like, no, you're goofy. And Rich said this too. I was like, am I funny? And he was like, you're goofy. And I'm like, great. But I would say that that's the true for Chili. Like, he's such a derp goof. Like, we're not making jokes that are quick witted. We're just like making stupid remarks, and that's what makes it funny. It makes people laugh because they're pretty embarrassing. Where Jackie is just like comedic funny. And I think Lumi I think Lumi is unintentionally very comedic. He doesn't have to say much. He's kind of like a mime. He's literally
Holy
a mime.
crap. That, like, I have never. That was incredible. Like, you hit that on the nail so hard. Lumi is literally a mime. Like you laugh at Lumi. That's so
You're like,
mean.
no, no, no. But you're like, what is going on? But you're like, you're captivated by this like very odd
Being.
display. Yeah, but you're like, I love it so much.
Like, when you look at Lumi, sometimes you're like, oh my God, did he leave the stove on? Because that's what he looks like all the time. Like, I feel like this is what I have playing in my mind whenever Lumi is looking into space, which is like 80% of the time. The other 20%, he's like eating or sleeping. But I swear to God, 80% of the time he's looking like, holy cracker, I forgot my briefcase at home. Like, that's just what I feel like he looks like all the time, which is kind of a mime. And I cannot believe we've been talking for years and you just hit that on the nail so randomly. We look at each other's dogs, and there are definitely characteristics of each other's dogs that we envy. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For example, I envy that Chili listens to you and is at your beck and call whenever you're walking him off leash on an off leash trail in the woods. Like, I could literally never do that with Lumi, ever.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We always talk about this exact example because I can do that, yeah. But when I go out on a leashed walk, it's not that he's terrible, but he's just like in his own world, and that's how we are most of the time. So I can't expect anything else. But Lumi is just like chilling out in public, and Chili's really excited to be out in public. And the point that I was going to say about him is Lumi, like this morning when you were trying to feed him, he was like, not interested. Like, Chili is, this is my schedule. This is what I want. Fucking do it now. And sometimes that can be intense. Like, I'm obviously going to give it to him, but sometimes I'm like, Chili, just like 2 seconds. And it can be overstimulating. And he's just needy. Like, Goldens are needy. And I love that. But I also am like, okay, some
Like, give me a
days I
minute.
just want to lay here, and the little crying that he does. That's what it is. Sometimes 24/7. I'm like, I love you so much. I literally love you
But
so
shut the hell up.
much.
That is so the opposite of Lumi, where right now, I'll bet you 1,000% Chili is what, right next to you?
Right here.
Yeah, okay. Lumi is in the other room sleeping on my bed. Like,
Yeah.
he could not give a shit that I'm in the other room right now.
But he'll play by himself. Like, that's
That's
the
true.
opposite appeal. Like, when you send me videos of him playing with his Benny Bone and stuff, like, that will
Chucking it around.
absolutely never happen with Chili. If he wants to play, he's going to come right up and, like, nudge me with his paw or face or whatever. And although I would like to say that that's, like, a Chili thing, and sometimes I'm like, maybe I spoiled him too much. I have met so many Goldens.
That's
and
a
they all
golden
do
thing.
they do the fucking same thing. Charlie, his little girlfriend, she is like top tier. Like, it is unreal. Chili is nothing compared to her. Like,
She's
her
a type A
incessant,
bitch.
she's incessant pawing. Like, it is actually wild. She's so fucking cute, so it's allowed. But
I mean, I grew
it's
up with
just
Goldens and it was the same thing. Like, whenever my Golden wanted to play, yeah, he would come over, sit by you, either like bark in your face or paw you. Lumi, on the other hand, if he wants to play, he'll go over, which I think this is so freaking cute. And I know a lot of Samoyeds who do this. They'll go over and grab a toy and then they'll toss it around to themselves. And it's like it's almost like a 3-year-old with an imaginary friend. That's what I would
yeah.
equate it to. And that's like Lumi. Lumi has an imaginary friend who he's playing fetch with. It's a little creepy, but it's cute.
We listen and we don't judge.
Yeah, well, no, I'm literally looking at him and I'm not judging, but Like I am.
You'll go talk shit
That's true.
about him to me.
It's kind of amazing because I don't always have to entertain him. And it's so nice that we have our independent relationships. Whereas what I've experienced since I've had a golden and what you experience is that Goldens are not like that.
I mean, I'm sure there's the exception to every breed. Like, I'm sure there's
Of
some
course.
really needy Samoyeds, but
Oh, yeah.
overall, but that's like exactly what I wanted. And I was actually thinking about this last night. Last night. This is not like shade to Rich, but sometimes like I can be just like Chili. Like I'll ask annoying questions. I do this common thing to Rich that Jackie knows about. I
Oh,
say,
I
"Can you
love
say
it.
something? Can you say something nice to me?"
No, that is so
And
chili core. That is so chili core.
yeah, and he always obliges. It's not that he doesn't, but like I can tell that I'm like that when it's happening. I can't control it, but I'm like, it's me, you know? But when that happens, and sometimes Rich is just like, oh, this bitch. And I could tell. So I'm like, okay. And then I'll go over to Chili and I'll like smother him and stuff. And Chili's like, cool. This is cool. And I'm like, this is exactly what I need because I can't possibly be like that to Rich all the time. We would not be together.
No, that now that you're saying this, we are so different to each other, but also really similar to our dogs. And this is proving the theory that I've heard many people say is people often act like their dogs. And then there's also the theory that people look like their dogs. I don't think me and Lumi look alike, but I know, like, I feel
No.
like we do act similar
Yeah.
because I'm the type of person where I'll be focused on doing something and Ben will come home and he'll be like, oh my God, like, hi, want to talk about our days, whatever. And I'm like, nope, I need 20 minutes. Like, I go into the other room and just do my thing. And then I'll come back out and then I'm ready to have a conversation. But then, like an hour later, I'll be like, I just need to like cook dinner like by myself. Like, I'm
Hmm.
just a very independent person. And that's what
Yeah.
Lumi is. Lumi's just very independent. And we are so similar to our dogs. And I feel like we haven't gone that deep into it before, but now that we are, I'm actually kind of freaking out a little bit. I think I'm a Samoyed.
I definitely think I'm a gold. Like I do, I have thought about that before. Like, oh, I don't look like Chili, and I feel like a lot of people who have Goldens don't like. I wouldn't say they look like them, but overall, their vibe is very golden-esque. Like, you don't pick a Golden just on a whim. You pick a
Yeah.
Golden because you're probably that fits you very well. And like, I was just thinking about this because this is something that I've really had to respect people's boundaries, which is what Goldens need to do because I'm pretty good at setting boundaries with people. So I automatically think that I'm not on being annoying, obviously, but Rich and my mom are constantly like, let's take a look in the mirror, Galen. Like I'm literally opening Chili's ear flaps and being like, I love you. You're so fluffy. I want to die. And I'll literally put my finger in Rich's ears and I'm like touching all over his face as if like, but I'm just like, I love you so much. I want to touch you. And he's like, can you not do that? Like, I don't like that. And I'm like, boundaries.
You're like, oh shit. That thing that I always impose, I forgot that I'm supposed to do the same thing. But
Because doesn't Chili set boundaries? He does. He
no,
always
he
is like,
does.
no, when he doesn't want to play, he sits down and he looks away. Like you could tell. Anybody, you don't have to know Chili. His like vibe is his facial expression says it all. And I feel like mine is too. Like I can look like I hate you if I don't like you.
But then he'll go up to other people or me, like, oh my God, do you remember when we met up in Brooklyn after you were on the AKC TV show and he tackled me in the coffee shop?
Oh my
Other people's
god.
boundaries, they don't
Yeah,
exist to Chili, which is hilarious because, yes,
that's
that's like
funny.
you, but it's also just classic Golden. Lumi, on the other hand, he is very independent and he still loves attention. I think that's a little bit of a different part about him. I feel like a lot of Samoyeds don't really care if you acknowledge them or not. Lumi loves to be acknowledged,
Mhm.
and I'm the same way. LOL trauma.
Yeah.
But he loves to be acknowledged and loves attention and loves to be pet. But then when he's done, he's like, all right, I'm fine to be invisible again. Also like me. But I
Don't
think
say it like that. You and Lumi are both not invisible.
you're okay, you're right. I think we both like to be alone after a
Yeah.
certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Like we're both just very independent and
Yeah.
we're okay with being alone, but then there are times where we're also like craving that interaction.
When we are both sad for some reason or anxious in our different ways, when you call me and you need insurance, one, I give it to you in a different way, but you also accept it in a different way versus when I'm anxious, you're more like you explain the whole thing and like what your perspective is on it, and I'm more like a realist and I'm like, Jackie, these are the facts. There's no reason to be sad, or maybe there is a reason to be sad, and I'm like, that makes sense why you would be sad. Be sad
Yeah,
and
like
go shut up.
remember when I took Lumi to the vet because he had a scratch on his nose and I was like, "Oh my god, I think it's cancer." And you literally looked at me and you were like, "Jackie, shut up." You
I
were like,
literally Googled all the different things that it could be, what it looked like. You went off your information off nothing. I'm looking up all these pictures to be like, definitely not cancer. It's definitely not this. Like, are you sure? I'm like, yep, I'm sure. But if that happened to me, you'd be like, oh, Galen, that's so scary. Like, definitely go to the vet. Are you okay? Do you need anything?
I'm like the very like touchy feely, like, oh my God, like, can I give you a hug? Like, let me send you this really long, like heartfelt text. And Galen will be like, Jackie, look it up, shut the fuck up, and get off your ass. Like
But that
she'll
makes
be a
me sound
realist.
crazy. That makes me sound crazy. But like, you need the like wake
No,
up
I
to like
need it.
set you, yeah, to set you out of your zone.
Because I
Obviously,
get
if
too
you
in my
didn't
head.
like that,
I
yeah,
get way too in
if
my
you
head.
didn't like that, I wouldn't do it to you. But that's just how I am with people. Like, for me, it's like, unless the emotion is completely like backed behind, I'm like, go be by yourself and cry or something.
What is something you really wish Chili did differently or didn't do?
There's probably a few things.
Oh yeah,
I
I'm the
hate
same with
this. I hate that. No, I'm just kidding. um Honestly, I'm having a hard time. There's definitely some, but I feel like I need to be reminded, so you go first.
All right, so first one right off the bat is whenever Lumi gets frustrated, sometimes it's for no reason because he just feels like creating a rampage. But if I'm not giving him attention at a certain time or I'm not just immediately giving him what he wants, he will throw a tantrum and yell in my face. And then he'll go and rip the carpet. That is so specific.
I have seen the carpet. I can attest to that.
There are little holes in the carpet. It's so
Mhm.
irritating. And it's so hard because I've tried to train him out of it, but sometimes like I won't have treats next to me or I'll be, in my bedroom while he's like having a tantrum in the living room, like a 2-year-old who's refusing to go to bed. And then it'll be silent and I'll hear the carpet ripping. But I, that's just like a stubborn Samoyed
Yeah.
thing that, like it's just hard to change about them. Like they throw tantrums, they're notorious for that. That's definitely one thing because I don't really want my carpet ruined, obviously. But I think maybe a more universal thing going back to it is my dog Bubba growing up, golden retriever, we talked about it in the previous episode. He could walk off leash literally anywhere, like on the sidewalk, in a field, on a trail, literally like on our road growing up. And he was so obedient and just like his recall was amazing.
Mhm.
And now I have a dog who literally could give less of a shit if I call his name sometimes. And he's like, I'm doing something over here. Like I can't come to you right now. That really bothers me. Like I think about it almost daily. It's something that I really struggle with because I would love to go to off leash Central Park hours and be able to know he'll come back to me. Like say if there is a bike coming or a dog that might be aggressive, but I can't. And that really bothers me. All right, I'm coming back to you now.
Okay, you helped me. I got some now. The main one probably is just his routine, which is helpful to an extent, but I
Do you mean
have
like
to
the
be,
like rigidity of it, like how he can't?
yeah,
Okay.
like breakfast at this time, walk is at this time, lunch is at this time, like snack time is usually here. Like he's very good at remembering things. Like he remembers any park that we've ever went to, any store we ever went to. He's really good at that, which is like that's really smart of him, but it can be exhausting because if I like have somebody watch him, they can't follow that regimen, and he does get really upset when I'm off that. Of course, I can't be perfect every time, but because I'm home with him all the time, I do appease him in that routine, which of course I made that routine, but it's so set in stone, almost like OCD, that when we go off that course, I feel like his personality and mood changes a lot, which that's difficult for me as far as videos and everything goes
Yeah, and like what if
because
you're sick and like you might
yeah,
not be able to get
but
out, you know what I mean?
but even like how today when we were trying to schedule this and I'm like, okay, well, I usually post my video at this time. Chili has to go on his walk. Like sometimes I wake up late or I'm tired or whatever. So I have to do these things for Chili before I get these things done, which Chili always comes first. So I'm going to do it. But sometimes it really like fucks with my own schedule. And I'm also OCD, which that's probably where he gets it from. And so I can be really like discombobulated while trying to get him in order. I feel like I was going to say a few little things, but that one for sure is something that like that
It bothers
his
you.
mood sets my mood off regularly, which obviously when he's having a good day, I'm having a good day too. But yeah, it's annoying as fuck, honestly.
Is there any little thing, like how I said when Lumi's having a tantrum and rips the carpet? Is there any little thing that he does where you're like, oh, that's just Chili being annoying? Like it's
The drama, the literal drama,
oh,
just his face, like he'll set his face on tables and stuff. There's a
anymore.
lot of little things that I've made into a joke on Instagram because obviously it's not a big deal, just like anybody's personality. But that thing, that and the crying thing makes me so annoyed because there's nothing that's going to fix it other than like giving him what he wants, and it's just like a spoiled little brat. It's literally like that the chick that turns into a blueberry and Charlie and the Chocolate
Oh,
Factory. Daddy, I want a squirrel. That's Chili.
Daddy, I want it. No, yeah, but it's like, Mommy, I want a snack for like the third time in an hour, and you're like, bruh.
And I'm like, I don't even know where you got that from because I don't like do that. I don't give in all the time. So sometimes I'm like, are you just bored and trying to get a rise out of me? And then like with the water when it's warm outside, like him jumping in, he'll literally like stick his toe in. And I'm like, no, no water today. And then he'll do another foot. And I'm like, you motherfucker.
No, he's a cute little spoiled man, but we love that. But I can
Yeah.
understand when you have to deal with it a lot. It can get to you, especially because it can ruin your agenda, which
Yeah.
obviously I think both of us have the problem of putting ourselves first sometimes. So that's obviously going to be hard when your dog is
Yeah.
constantly being put first. I think with Lumi, he doesn't really have a routine, and it's not because I haven't tried to set one, because I have, but he's just very much a dog who kind of just does what he wants, and that goes back to Samoyeds being independent. Like when he wants to eat breakfast, he'll eat it anywhere from 8:30 in the morning to 10:30 in the morning, and I can't really set a time for him to eat it because sometimes he will and sometimes he won't. Like I just kind of had to learn to like let go, because my dog growing up was very regimented as well. You know, like loved to eat at a certain time, loved to go out at a certain time, played with our neighbor's dog at a certain time. Not Lumi. Lumi,
Hmm.
God forbid, if you do something a certain time of day too many days, he like gets tired of it. And he's like, I'm not doing that anymore. Like it's almost like he doesn't like routine, if that makes sense.
This is so crazy. I feel like the whole thing was about us being really similar to our dogs and stuff. But I mean, this is the difference between you and I. But a difference between our dogs is like I am more of like a go with the flow. If I wake up and decide I want to go to the city, I'm going to do that. And you are like, I can't possibly go to New Jersey today. I haven't planned that out. And then
Yeah.
on the flip, Chili is like, nope, at 7 a.m. I must eat. And then at 8 p.m., I will be sleeping. Do not bother me. And I'm like, bro, like, but we could watch a show. Like, we could do whatever we want. And then Lumi is like, no plans today. I'm chilling.
Yeah. I mean, I might run in the street or like I might steal a sandwich from someone, but like we'll see where the day takes me. So basically you're
Oh,
saying we should trade.
penguin.
Yeah, we should trade dogs. I basically our dogs are more similar to
No,
each
because
other.
that's the only in that aspect. But I feel like that part is good for us and like the yin and yang thing because that challenges me. Like I can be a little bit too easygoing and like whatever. And although Chili is like that, to some extent. Like he's really easygoing. That routine like is a challenge for me, and then vice versa for you because like that's exactly the difference between you and I. I'm like
No, and
the easygoing.
I can be a little too rigid where if like I go outside of my routine or don't get certain things done, I panic a little bit.
Yeah.
And, I have to not be a perfectionist and try and do everything exactly when I do it or exactly how I do it. So we definitely balance each other out, and our dogs balance us out too. I think something that I love about Lumi, and I want to hear what you love about Chili. First thing that comes to your mind, because obviously we love so many things about them, but I think one thing that really sticks out to me is one thing that I love about Lumi is he just loves every single person he meets, whether it's a crackhead
Mhm.
on the sidewalk or a beautiful family with an adorable toddler that, wants to give him hugs and kisses because Lumi loves that. Like
Mhm.
he he just loves anyone who will give him the time of day, and that's actually kind of taught me to be open to people.
Mhm.
And I know that when I was living in Seattle during COVID, you know, there was not really a way to meet anyone because everyone was shut down. But then when I got Lumi, we made some of our best friends just like on the street. I mean, like I don't if anyone watches Lumi's channel, um, his best friend Moira, the Samoyed, came to stay in New York for a month. We literally met them in Seattle on the sidewalk, like during COVID. That
Mhm.
never would have happened if it wasn't for Lumi kind of opening my eyes and stopping me to say hi to Moira and her owners. So I think that's something that I really love is that he really makes me look around and enjoy people.
Yeah. That's really helpful since you live in the city with a million assholes.
There's Galen's perspective. But I guess what's one thing that you really love about Chili?
Obviously there's so many. For some reason, like if I'm going just based off what the first thing that came in my head is like his expressions because people comment about that a lot is like you can always tell what he's feeling with his eyebrows and his looks. Like I love that because he seems like so much of like a human, which I don't know if it makes him connect to people more because he's not like really going up to people to like be their friends. He's just a golden who he'll go like look up at them for a second and then unless they interact with him, he doesn't care. Um, but I think when they do have an interaction, they're more likely to be like, "Oh my god, he's so great," and like, pay attention. Where when you see some dogs, they might like act a little nervous, or you can't really tell what their vibe is. Like Chili will, he'll tell you your vibe, which I will also tell you your vibe, not with my eyes and eyebrows, but probably by saying it.
No, Chili has very good what is it like intuition and sense of self.
Yeah,
Lumi,
he
on the
is
other
really.
hand, has zero intuition and sense of self.
Okay, now we should do our favorite things about each other and least favorite thing.
All right, we're gonna end this episode in a fight.
We'll do the least favorite thing first. Don't make it anything mean.
Wait, I'm sorry, guys. Just something about Galen. Yeah, let's like not say something mean, but like let's make it like a sensitive topic.
Let's be mean, but not too mean.
Um,
You could
but
do
you know
that. You
what?
could do it to me first.
Wait, I don't want to do that.
Fine.
No, you
Do
go
the
first
nice
to
one.
me.
You want the mean one? You
I,
want a least favorite thing?
I guess.
When you go, Gillen, am I gonna die? Is Lumi gonna die? And I'm like, no, Jackie, you're not gonna die. I think I'm gonna die. I just said you're not gonna die. I think I'm gonna die. I'm like, I can't hang up on her, so I'm just gonna keep talking to her.
I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac if no one knows. And sometimes, okay, I just get really anxious. Like if I have a headache and I have to call Galen because she's my point person and I'm like, I'm
I
scared.
I always listen to you, but that doesn't say that I'm not annoyed.
um I love everything about you. I don't have a least favorite
You
thing.
do. What
Um
is it?
this is a good thing and a not good thing, but
It's like a
since
when you are in a interview. Yeah.
What's your weak point and what's your strong point? Um, I think, and this is a good thing about you, and I have to learn this, but I don't like this. I'm a perfectionist, and if there's like a little thing not edited or like not done perfectly, even like in the podcast audio, and I'll be like, we have to correct it, we have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And Galen's like, no, we don't, it's fine. And I'm like, it's
Yeah.
not fine. I'm like, we need to make it perfect. That's one thing because you're so lax
Yeah. Yeah.
about
Yeah.
a lot of things. And like, I'm not. I'm someone where everything needs to be in its place, perfect.
I
And
was going to actually mention this before at some point when we were talking about that, like me being more easygoing than you, is that obviously that's good for us because especially like not just the podcast, but in friendship that I, like I said before, can be too lax that sometimes it's not that I'm not going to get anything done, but I can push it off to the last minute where you definitely like are more of a check off the
a
list
doer.
thing. Yeah, and that's really helpful for me, especially with the podcast, because I don't know like how things would have been moving along. They would have been done. It's not that I will never get things done. It's just on a different timeline than you might have,
Oh yeah, like
which is great. I think that that's great. I
no, we
think that
help
that's
each
a
other. Our
great quality of
differences,
yours.
the things we quote don't like unquote about each other is the fact that like I'm a bit more of a worrier, I think, even if like the like I'm gonna die stuff. I'm a bit more of a worrier, and Galen is definitely a bit of a relaxer, if that's the right word.
Realist.
A realist, and also a relaxed person. But that we balance each other out in the relationship. Sometimes Galen needs a bit of a punch in the face, and sometimes I need to be told to chill the fuck out.
A punch
But
in the face in a different context.
exactly. But now it's one thing that we like about each other. This is like such a like cringy little like girl circle
like it.
sleepover. I like it. Okay,
I like it.
I'll go first this time.
Okay.
One of the things is that you are honest, and I feel like there's not many people who are not afraid to be honest. A lot
Mhm.
of friends will, you know, kind of tell you what you want to hear or even lie to you because they're scared to say the truth, but I just love how you're very real and very honest, not just about your feelings but about your thoughts. Like if I ask you something, you're going to tell me what you honestly think so I know that I can rely on you.
Oh, I love that answer actually. For you, I don't know what the actual word is to describe it, but it's like I can talk to you about anything and not be judged. I think it's like you're very compassionate. I think I've
Oh,
given that word to you before
you
or
have.
something like that.
Yeah.
Um, where I could literally talk to Jackie about, I'm not going to give an example here because some of them are pretty ridiculous, but
Top secret.
she, but you like listen and you hear it and you'll actually give advice and go off of it. Where I feel like other people can listen and they won't maybe judge, but you can kind of tell in their voice that they're uncomfortable. And I've never told you anything that would be uncomfortable. And we've had like really hard topics about like the world and our personal life or just thoughts and everything. And I never have ever felt judged by you. Plus you're funny as fuck, which makes me really happy.
The way you said that. Dude, I love you. We just end on a
I
love fest.
you.
You know what, everyone? Tell your best friend you love them and tell them one reason why, because I guarantee you it will brighten their day more than you know.
And your dog.
And your dog. Sorry, this is a dog podcast. Tell your dog
Yeah.
also.